Hi everyone, my name is ICEMAN, and today we're doing an overview of Andrin in Across the Obelisk. So this one is a little tough one for me. He's changed a little bit here and there as far as how his level traits go, and after experimenting with him, I do have a favorite way to go, and I'll share that with you guys later. But I do have 3 builds for him. But let's go over the traits first. Of course, Andrin, he's the Ranger class, Scout class, or he's a Ranger. It's in the Scout class, so typically he'll not be Frontline. But yeah, like I said, let's go over his traits, and then I'll talk about the rest of that later. So as far as his innate trait, you got Trailblazer, which on the start of the turn, or the fight, I should say, combat, he gets the fast charge, which is +2 speed per charge, and then it prevents one slow, of course, when that happens, and then the next round it loses a charge, and so on and so forth. It's nice. He does get an initial speed buff. I believe if you have all the perks on him, then he is up to 26 just starting speed on the first round, which is just crazy. I think the second fastest is either Thules or Magnus, something like that. Level 2, we have Maneuver. So when you play a card, for every energy used, you draw a card, as well as you're going to gain some block and evasion. It only lasts for that round. Or you have the option of Wild Hunt, where you get +2 mark charges. And when you play a card, you get, for every energy you use, you apply 2 mark to a random monster. Range Mastery is when you play a ranged attack, you gain all the range attack cards in your hand when you start combat is reduced by 1 until discarded. But if you draw a card, of course, it's going to be the normal cost on there. And then Momentum, when you play a melee card, you gain 1 energy back, as well as you gain 1 powerful. It's 3 times per turn. Serrated weapons, all damage +4. When you damage somebody, you're going to be applying 4 bleed, as well as you're going to gain 1 sharpness, and that lasts 10 uses. Riposte, you get 10 block. You gain block charges +10, and then when you block, you're going to be dealing 20 ranged, or is it piercing? I think it's piercing damage, and then you're going to be applying 4 mark on them in that last 4 uses. And then the last, level 5, we got Marksmanship. So when you play a range attack card, you're going to gain 2 sharp, or we have Mark for Death, where it adds +3 to your mark. Now, after going over that, there's a few ways. I think there's like 4 ways to kind of play Andrin. Really depends on how you want to go about it, but so of course, one, if you're going the kind of the left tree on here, we'll call it, is kind of the ranged tree. So of course you can be a ranged champ, just get the ranged weapons, and the reduced cost on the first draw is pretty nice on there. Then when you get to Marksmanship, you're adding sharpness. I mean, same with serrated weapons, you're just adding sharpness on it. So kind of want to have, if you can, get some sharpness buffs on there, and you're going to start dealing some pretty good damage. There's some really nice cards for sharpness. The right tree, adding Mark, is actually super strong. I've been playing it a lot lately, and I'll do this in a future video with him so you can see it. But basically with Mark, what is so great about it is everyone benefits from it with all damage types. It's basically having sharpness on everybody, but also do it with every type of damage. It is strong. I have been able to beat the last boss, that wizard, like in the first round before he got to go, because of it. And then the boss after that, the second round, almost the first round. I'm still trying to perfect it, but let me show you his his my builds for him, my starting builds, and kind of explain like other ways you could go with him. So I did create this just to have here. Oops, there we go. Andrin. So of course I have the melee build right here. This is my basic melee build. The reason why I decided to go this way is of course the low cost initially, and then later when we start playing cards and we're gaining it back, I'm able to just have an abundance of energy. I like the Blade Dance because it hits all monsters. The Rupture because it's slowing and doing bleed. But basically what I try to do is I try to get like a good item where I believe it's called Empty Bag, where if you play all the cards in your hand, you get to draw 3 more. I like to play that or have that on him when I do this because I'm going to have a lot of energy if I stay with low cost cards and I'm going to keep hitting. As well as there's also some daggers you can get where if you play a melee card, you're going to draw a card. It can be really good. Later on in the build, I do get some higher cost melee cards, but this is how I start off with him, just to make sure that I'm not running out of energy when I'm first fighting any bosses and stuff like that. I think one of the biggest, like the best cards that you can have in any scout deck is Deflect. It's a 0 cost draw card, and you're gaining block. It doesn't vanish unless you get the one that does vanish, which if you upgrade it that way. I don't even upgrade it. I just like it as it is. It's a great just deck cycler, but also you're gaining, it's basically a free card because you're just drawing, gaining block, and it's a 0 cost. So why not have it in all your scout decks? So I think every single deck that I have with them, I have Deflect. I think with Thules, I also try to add Deflects in there just to have it. There's no reason not to. It's a free card in my opinion. If I go ranged with him, so of course we could see here again, low cost cards starting. You don't really need much when you get through the first. Later I tend to maybe have a higher cost card, but I don't really need that because of ammunitions. But the reason why I go with the more aim shots is he starts with the 4 aim shots. Might as well keep them, and you can upgrade them to the 1 cost if you need to, just starting off, if you need to for energy purposes. And then the quick shots, of course, you can get down to 0. So you're again just cycling through, making it just doing quick damage. But the big thing is ammunitions here, where you discover 3 range cards and you're able to place one in your deck or in your hand, depending on how you upgrade it. The great thing about that is it's any range card from, so even if you're in Act 1, you can get Act 2 cards just randomly through this. So that's why I don't really have a lot of high cost cards in his range deck to start with, because ammunitions, I can get a 4 cost, 5 cost card through that. So I feel like there's not really a reason for me to get the high cost cards if I'm just going to get them with ammunitions. Let's see. And then, a toxic range. I put that in there just because it is a ranged 0 cost and I needed some filler, just to get that 15 card deck. I like to have small decks when I'm starting. Small decks. I want to make that clear. Decks. When I'm starting. Just because trying to utilize, most of my damage really quick. I don't need a lot of crap in my deck, essentially. And then I have a marked deck. All right. This one's I've been really enjoying this a lot. It's a little more on the expensive side. Starting off, you don't have to upgrade everything. I mean, you kind of do if you want to put mark on it. I'd say if you have some chests or some supplies to sell, definitely this is like one of the best decks, because basically the first act, you're just killing everything with just Andrin and then the second person. Because Andrin is applying a ton of mark on everybody. So I like to have detection upgraded to where I'm drawing it first, just to spread it onto everybody. And then we got, your free hunter marks, and then the slices I upgraded to just apply the mark on there, and then say with the ricochet. I honestly don't really need to upgrade this much more. Thing is, and I'll go back to our little tome here. Thing is, you do want to go for your second act, the red zone. The reason why you want to go red zone and then bottom path and defeat this cultist, because you're going to get this item, which you'll want on Andrin, that when you damage an enemy, it applies mark. So you're going to definitely want that. And you're going to want to try to get this ring, the hunter ring, where it applies mark charges. So you're applying a ton of mark. By the end of Act 4, you can apply up to 100 mark on one enemy easily. And that's just 100 extra damage, right? That you're doing with everybody. So I'm like, with the pets like Asmodee here, like he applies mark as well. So I like to put Asmodee with him just to keep applying mark. But I've had Cornelius here with like Flamey. What does the Flamey do? 6 fire damage right there. By Act 4, just Flamey going was doing 100 and something damage. Just that 6 became 100 and something. It's just really strong. So don't sleep on mark. It's actually really, really good. Like I said, it's basically sharpness, but for your whole team, right? And you're just doing a ton of damage. So with the scouts, another thing you can do, because of deflect, especially Andrin, I think Andrin's better for this. You could put Andrin in the front and easily survive, just because of the deflects. If you're cycling your deck really well, you can be adding a lot of block on yourself. There's also a lot of, besides deflect, I think there's a couple other where it adds block. So you got disengage, adds block and evasion. So not only are you blocking, but before they can even get to your block, you're going to be making sure they can't even hit you. You got Fate, able to add shield and block on there. Stone Skin, more block, some reinforce and thorns. Like it's really strong. Just a really strong way to go, I'd say. And then parry, of course, block and fortify. So you can easily put the scout up front and be a tank for your whole team if you want to. You don't even need a warrior if you have a scout, if you decide to go up front with them. And Andrin's usually first because of his passive, his innate trait. So it just, why not? Why not try that out as well? I've done it a few times. It works really well. I can't really say anything bad about the scouts. It's definitely a strong hero on its own. You don't really need much. Maybe healer. Even then, I think you don't really need it because you can. Let's go to heal here. You do have some song cards on here. I have gone a song build with Andrin a few times, and he does get a stronger. Let's actually exit out here, go to Tome, just so you can see a little bit better heal. So you do got some other heals on here that you can get with Stanza, but I think because Thules and Andrin have the perks where you reduce the cost of ranged or you're getting energy back when you're playing melee, Song is not the best on them, but it still works really well. The Song cards are pretty powerful. You can gain energy and stuff like that through them. Of course, you have the where is it? You got the adrenaline, so you can get the free energy as well. If you're having energy issues, that is. And it is a fun thing to do because Song is not really meant, it is meant for them, but not really. That's going to be more meant for the frog character when it comes out because he's a bard. But it is fun still going Song. I thought I had my Song build up, but I remember I deleted it because they changed a few things. So I'll have to make another Song one for you guys and play that as well. I was really hoping the frog would have been out by now. They did say that that the last big release they were supposed to have him, but I guess they're saving him for when they have the blue zone. But yeah, those are my builds as far as he goes. For now, I did have a couple more, had to delete them, but yeah, that's my overview with him. I think he's a strong character. I do wish his ranged was a little more powerful, but I know that they're going to be having now the range scout, the elf. She's going to be a ranged scout, so I can see why they didn't make it as powerful as it used to be, because range mastery used to be when you played a range card. I think it used to be this way. It was kind of like melee here, where you're getting energy back. No, his range was always like, I guess, -1. It's something like that. Usually it was -1, and it wasn't like your starting cards. Like anytime you played, you always get back. It was just you were able to loop your you can always have energy. That's what it was. Yeah, so range, it was when you played a range card, you get energy back, and then it wasn't like per turn or whatnot. So it was like anytime you had a range card in your hand, it was always basically a free energy back. Same with melee. It was the same way. I understand that it is too powerful, which is why they, nerfed it to 3 times per turn. But you do get at least powerful when you're going the melee route. I feel like they want you to go the melee route because it benefits more than the ranged mastery, in my opinion. But anyways, that's it for today. I hope you liked my little overview of Andrin. I know it's all over the place. I was having a hard time trying to figure out how to talk about Andrin. I think he's like just a mixed bag of tricks. They have so much for him, and but yet doesn't really specialize in anything except I think Mark with melee is the best I can think. But again, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any more ideas, please hit me up either on here or you can message me on Discord. It's not hard to find me. And yeah, have a great day and take care. Bye.